The Green Bay Packers have had their fair share of franchise quarterbacks in their time in the NFL. Guys like Bart Starr, Brett Favre, and Aaron Rodgers have kept the Packers in contention for decades. Rodgers, specifically, would make his mark throughout the 2010s and go down as the greatest player in Green Bay Packers history. But in 2020, his time as a Packer was coming to an end. After Aaron Rodgers' illustrious career in Green Bay was over, the Packers would need to find a replacement for him, praying that they would find yet another franchise quarterback. Being the guy after Aaron Rodgers gives you some massive shoes to fill, and Green Bay knew they needed the right guy. So, who did they choose? A kid out of Utah State, who many were calling a bust, Jordan Love. This guy has been through trauma, one of the worst painful experiences anyone can ever go through, which we'll talk about later. So, it's not a surprise that Jordan Love is the real deal. And as you're watching this video, it's safe to say that Green Bay made the right decision. But how did he get here? How did Jordan Love earn this significant opportunity? In this video, we'll be going over how this three-star prospect became the talk of the NFL. Be sure to like, be a subscriber, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss a video like this one. Jordan Love was born on November 2, 1998 in Bakersfield, California, to parents Anna and Orban Love Jr. Orban Jr. was a police officer for the Bakersfield Police Department, but was still able to make time for his children, Jordan, and his three sisters. Jordan and his father would grow to be very close, and Orban Jr. would even coach many of Jordan's sports teams. Orban Jr. is credited as being the reason Jordan fell in love with football. However, Orban Jr. suffered from many mental health issues, and unfortunately, when Jordan was only 14 years old, Orban Jr. passed away due to suicide. Jordan contemplated quitting football entirely at this time, but his mother convinced him to play one more year to ensure he wasn't making a decision he would regret. Considering where Jordan is now, that was absolutely something he didn't want to do. Only 2 short years after his father's tragic passing, in his junior year of high school, Jordan was named to the varsity football team at Liberty High School. Midway through the season, he was named the starting quarterback, which would prove to be the beginning of something special. Jordan would finish his junior season with 1,930 passing yards, 18 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 384 rushing yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns. Love's junior season impressed scouts so much that he received 5 Division I offers from schools like Sacramento State, Eastern Washington, and his only FBS offer, Utah State. Love would commit to continue playing football at Utah State prior to his senior season, which, naturally, surrounded Love with a ton of hype as he looked to prove that he was worthy of being a Division I FBS quarterback. Love would absolutely prove his worth in his senior season, finishing off the year with 2,148 passing yards, 24 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 806 rushing yards, and 8 rushing touchdowns. Love would lead Liberty High to the state semifinal game before ultimately losing, but Liberty's success this season proved that Jordan Love was a born winner and looked to lead Utah State to a successful few years. Despite graduating in 2016, Love wouldn't start playing football at Utah State until the 2017 season, redshirting his freshman year as Utah State would rely on junior Kent Myers to lead their offense. After Utah State would finish 3-9 in 2016, Love would finally be named to the roster in 2017 as the backup quarterback to Myers in his senior year. Midway through the season, due to poor play from Myers and impressive play from Love, the freshman would be named the starting quarterback in Week 7. In his debut game as a starter against UNLV, Love would throw for 316 yards and 2 touchdowns, rush for 42 yards and a touchdown, and be named the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week. Strong start from the 18-year-old. Love would finish off his freshman season with solid production, throwing for 1,631 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, while also running for 165 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading Utah State to a 6-7 record. Love's first ever bowl game would be the Arizona Bowl, where he would face off against New Mexico State, a game Utah State would lose 26-20. Love, however, despite not recording a single touchdown, would throw for 254 yards, putting the Aggies in position to win, even though they ultimately did not. Love's sophomore season would be his first full year as a starter, and Love did not disappoint. He had a slow start with a 2-interception performance in Week 1 against Michigan State, but he did not let that discourage him, as he led Utah State to a 4-1 start, including a 165-yard, 5-touchdown total performance in Week 5 against BYU. His first ever 5-touchdown performance came the next week against the team he made his first ever start against, UNLV. Love also threw for 322 yards in that game, letting everybody in the football world know that he is the real deal. From Week 2 against New Mexico State to the end of the regular season, Jordan Love would lead Utah State to a 10-1 record, with their only loss coming in Week 12 against Boise State. Their 2018 bowl game would be the New Mexico Bowl, a game in which Utah State would destroy the North Texas Mean Green 52-13. A game in which Love would throw for 359 yards and 4 touchdowns, rushing for a touchdown as well, being named the New Mexico Bowl MVP. Love would finish his sophomore campaign with the Utah State school record 3,567 passing yards, 32 passing touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, and 7 rushing touchdowns. 3,567 yards and 39 total touchdowns in a 13-game season is absolutely insane. That's 274 yards and 3 touchdowns per game. Jordan Love in the NFL was officially on the horizon. Love's junior season would be under a new head coach and a new offensive coordinator. This may not be why, but his junior year would not go nearly as well as his sophomore campaign. Love would have multiple 3-interception games, developing a significant turnover issue throughout the season. Love almost threw more interceptions than he did touchdowns this season, throwing 20 touchdowns and an absurd 17 interceptions. That's 1.3 interceptions per game over his 13-game season, a major concern. Despite his turnovers, Love opted to declare for the 2020 NFL Draft. Love was projected to be a day 2 pick, but it was possible that a team would take a chance on him in the first. NFL.com rated him the 5th best quarterback in the class. At 6'4", he had a tight spiral, great accuracy, and above-average athleticism for his position. The only glaring issue was his decision-making. Despite that, the Green Bay Packers would be the team to take a chance on the Utah State prospect, trading up to the 28th pick to select their hopeful quarterback of the future, despite still having Aaron Rodgers. Not only Packers fans, but NFL fans everywhere questioned the pick, calling out the Packers front office, claiming that they made a huge mistake. This claim became even louder once Aaron Rodgers would go on to win his 3rd MVP award. The Packers would also lose to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship, and fans started to lose their minds, claiming that if they had drafted somebody who could play as a rookie instead of a backup QB, that they would have won a Super Bowl. This level of hatred grew louder than ever after Rodgers won another MVP the next season. The Packers would be the 1 seed once again, but this time around, they would lose to the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round 13-10. Prior to the 2022 season, Rodgers had made it known that he was unhappy in Green Bay, and after an 8-9 finish, Rodgers' time in Green Bay was up, as he would be traded to the New York Jets in the offseason. Green Bay could have made a deal with a veteran quarterback, but they would commit to Love to be their starting quarterback. Love appeared in 10 games for the Packers in this first 3 seasons, passing for 606 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Not a promising start to his NFL career, and fans let him know. There were heavy doubts about Love being the starter, and many counted Love and Green Bay out before the 2023 season even started. Love had very low expectations set for him going into the 2023 season, but he absolutely shined in his first 2 games, throwing for 396 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 in each game, and 0 interceptions against the Chicago Bears and Atlanta Falcons, winning 1 and losing 1. However, over the next 2 months, 7 games, Love's turnover issues would return, as he would throw for 1,163 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, leading the Packers to a 2-5 record. At this point, Packers fans had lost hope, sure that their fears about Love and their quarterback situation had come true, and a boatload of media outlets were labeling Jordan Love a bust. But then, something special happened. Jordan Love would become a completely brand new player. From weeks 10 through 13, Love would throw for 2,150 yards, 18 touchdowns, and only 1 interception, leading the Packers to a 6-2 record and, more importantly, helping Green Bay sneak into the playoffs with a 9-8 overall record. What happened next was truly magical. The Packers would go into the playoffs as the 7th seed in the NFC, facing off against the 2-seeded Dallas Cowboys, a Super Bowl contender with the highest scoring offense in football. Despite the Packers historically having the edge over the Cowboys, especially in the playoffs, almost anybody you asked would have taken Dallas to win this game. So what happened? Jordan Love would have the game of his career. In his first ever postseason game and his first ever season as a starter, Love would throw for 272 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 76 completion percentage, posting a near-perfect 157.2 passer rating and taking down the mighty Cowboys 48-32. Love was making throws that put the NFL on notice. Dots! Jordan Love earned his respect and is now widely regarded as one of the league's best quarterbacks. But how do you project the rest of his career to go? Do you think he can reach the Aaron Rodgers level in Packers history? Let us know in the comments. If you made it this far, could you be a subscriber to our channel? You would be a helper by doing so. We are working hard to bring you stories of the game's best. As always, thank you for watching The Halftime Show. See you all in the next one.